All right, guys, we finally got some information when it comes to Monolith Soft's next title. This comes from Midori, the famed leaker at this point, and she's gotten a lot of stuff right when it comes to JRPGs, when it comes to Sega, Atlas, and she's starting to get into the Nintendo realm a bit. Now, recently, in a thread where she leaked the Bleach game that was confirmed recently for the Nintendo Switch and Xbox, Bleach Brave Souls, she actually responded to some more questions, and this time it was with Monolith Soft, and we're gonna go over everything that she had to say. But before we do, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch and RPG videos first. And let's go ahead and jump right into this here. In that same thread, she was talking about Bleach Brave Souls. She said that, hey, it's confirmed now after she put out the information beforehand. But then she also was asked other questions from somebody else, and that person asked, I don't doubt you. Do you have any insight or info on what Monolith Soft is working on for Switch 2, new IP, new Xenoblade game? And Midori responded with, I was told a few months ago that Monolith Soft was working on a project with codename Legacy, but I do not have any other information. Now, when somebody asks Xenosaga with the hands praying for it, she responds with, this is a project in development with Nintendo. So that's what she's stating here. It's a project in development with Nintendo. So Monolith Soft is a subsidiary of Nintendo. For people might be kind of confused on that, Nintendo has purchased them a decade plus ago. They're going on actually 2 decades at this point. In the next 3 years will be 2 decades or so. Monolith Soft is a company that Nintendo already owns. So Nintendo, Monolith Soft subsidiary, they're working together to make this new game, just like Xenoblade, just like the previous Xeno games that we've gotten beforehand. Now, here's the interesting thing, because more people kind of pressed her on this, and somebody stated that Midori said it was Xenosaga, and Midori had to come out and say, and the person deleted the post, but Midori had to come out and say, I am saying it is not Xenosaga. Xenosaga is not owned by Nintendo. Nintendo does not own Xenosaga or Xenogears. Bandai Namco is the company that owns Xenosaga. Square Enix is the company that owns Xenogears. She stated that this project is in collaboration with Nintendo. So then somebody else asks her, so which is it? And that person quote tweets, this project is in development with Nintendo. And she responds with this, Legacy is a project in development by Monolith Soft. It is in development with Nintendo, so it is not an external company. This is a Nintendo published title. So this will be something that Nintendo has on their own. Now, there was a lot of talk about what we could see next. Could we see Xenosaga? If you've played Future Redeemed, and if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but especially Future Redeemed, what happens in that game? Many people felt that Xenosaga would be next, or that Xenosaga would be coming. However, Nintendo does not own Xenosaga, so it would have to be a collaboration with Bandai Namco, Nintendo, and Monolith Soft if they were to make a new game, or if they were to remaster a game. But once again, I don't think that would fall on Monolith Soft to remaster Xenosaga. That would fall on Bandai Namco. And Hadara, who runs the games section over at Bandai Namco, stated that they actually talked about Xenosaga and how feasible it would be to be remastered or remade, and essentially they stated that it wouldn't be a feasible project in terms of profitability or making money, considering how the game originally did maybe on the PlayStation 2 and how each release I think got lower and lower sales, so they scrapped it. It was on the board, it was on the floor for a bit, but it ended up being not profitable. Now, that was before the blow up of Xenoblade on the Nintendo Switch, really, so things can change, stuff can happen, and things can be different in the future. And I do feel that one of these days Xenosaga will be remastered and put out on modern systems. I just don't know when. Maybe Switch 2 it happens, but this project that they're working on is not Xenosaga with Monolith Soft. Now, what could it be? Well, this is something that I've talked about so many times on this channel, but I wanted to reiterate it now that we actually have something tangible when it comes to Monolith Soft. I do feel that their new IP could still be something. Codename Legacy. I don't think it really relates to anything else. So they could still have that new IP in the cards. It could be a new Xenoblade game. It could be a new IP, or maybe Xenoblade framed as a new IP. So it's Xenoblade something, or it's Xeno something else. And essentially it's a continuation after the situation with the trilogy. If you've played it, I don't want to have any spoilers, but that kind of wraps things up for the most part with some open-ended things here and there, especially after the art book was released in Japan. So we got a lot more answers to things, but it's not complete. There's still some areas they could go, which Monolith Soft even alluded to in the art book, saying, hey, look, we're not going to answer everything here just because, you know, we don't know where we're going to go in the future or where things could be. So it makes sense, but they could do a plethora of things here. Now, I do think that this is related to something brand new. I feel that they really took Xenoblade as far as it could. They had a good install base. There was something awesome there, and no doubt they're going to return to Xenoblade. Heck, they've even stated that as much in a developer interview when Xenoblade 3 was coming out, that they will continue. Xenoblade will happen. There will be more in the future, but I do think that this will be something brand new. Now, some people have brought up the possibility of it being a Xenoblade Chronicles X port, and maybe that's the case. Maybe it is a Xenoblade Chronicles X port or a Xenoblade Chronicles X remake, where they really add on and give you the complete story of the game, because if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles X, you know that it ends on a pretty bad cliffhanger, so they could complete the story there. So almost like a future redeem to Xenoblade 3, or like a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, which is a prequel, but a Torna to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So they could have the base game remade, looked a lot better, or super high-end remaster, and then add in a whole other section or parts to it that completes the story after you beat the game. So I think that could be an option as well. But if I had to actually say, okay, what do I truly feel that it is? I think it's a brand new IP. I think it's something completely different that they're prepping and getting ready to show off, to really show off the Nintendo Switch 2. Because think about it for a second here, guys. Monolith Soft has always been that company that has shown off what they can do from a technical perspective on Nintendo hardware. They've been doing it for a long time, even dating all the way back to the DS. Now, they had the GameCube, Baten Kaitos, and everything, which was awesome. But man, when they really linked up with Nintendo to get certain games done, the Dragon Ball Z game, that was awesome with Bandai Namco. But also for me, it's Somabringer. That never was released here in the US, but that game looks awesome for a DS game. Xenoblade was the game that truly broke out, and people were like, wow, look at this. There's no other developer that has made any game the size of Xenoblade and made it look anywhere near as good. Like, there was no other game. There was no real open world games on the Wii like this that were new. There were some last gen, maybe PS2 type of things, but new games built specifically for the Wii, and Xenoblade did it and showed it can be done, and you can have a really good game surrounding it, not just a lot of window dressing. So to me, Monolith Soft has always been that company to really showcase what they can do on a system, providing new experiences. Even with the Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicles X was incredible when we first saw that. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Wii was one of the huge games that you didn't see any other developer, when it comes to big open-ended games, put out anything that wasn't a port of something that came out before in the first year of the Nintendo Switch that December. So to me, Monolith Soft has always been that company to really take advantage of the system and be on a high technical level overall. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a freaking miracle if you look at that game and how good it looked and what it did. Being able to have all those characters, 7+ characters on the screen, all fighting, all yelling attacks, all these different things that are popping up, the Uroburos and all of that, and to actually hold steady. They did such a better job when it comes down to it. So Monolith Soft is that development team to really show what the system can do, because obviously the Switch 2 isn't going to be as powerful as the highest end PCs or PlayStation 5, but it's going to be able to do so many more things that the Nintendo Switch couldn't do. And you best believe that Monolith Soft will be there with something fairly early in the life to show off when it comes to what this system will be able to do, and giving them the creative freedom to create something that can turn into the next big thing, like Xenoblade did on the Wii and the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch. Over 3 generations of phenomenal experience and great gameplay and great technical prowess overall. I think that's going to translate so well to the most capable system ever that Monolith Soft has had. So I'm very excited to see what they're able to do with this, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So I'm banking on a brand new IP with this one. I do think that it's possible that it's a Xenoblade Chronicles X, like I stated, or it's even a Xenoblade Chronicles 4 or a continuation of the Xeno line in some way, shape, or form. Those are all possible things that could happen with this game. So I'm very excited to see what's happening here. Shout outs to Midori. So if she's getting some information here, that means I think it's going to be getting closer and closer to the reveal of this, because she knows the code name and they're working on something here. So what do you guys think about what Monolith Soft is working on next? Let me know in the comment section below. But I do want to move over to one other topic that's been getting a lot of discussion, and that is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. A lot of talk around how this game is going to do sales-wise, and if it's going to change Nintendo's attitude towards the Paper Mario series and making it back to what kind of gamers are wanting, which is the RPG elements, which is the new styles of characters that have different takes on the characters that we know in the game, that look different and act a bit different or a little bit weird. These are the things. But first and foremost, let's talk about the sales. So in the UK, we've got UK sales now. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is #1 on the board. This is physical sales, and the sales are identical to Paper Mario: The Origami King, according to Christopher Dring over there at GameIndustry.biz. He stated that Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is #1 in the UK boxed charts. It had a bigger launch than Super Mario RPG Remaster, that's a remake, with opening week sales basically identical to Paper Mario: The Origami King. That's a great result. Bodes well for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Now let's talk about this. Here's the reason why it bodes well for it. Obviously, Origami King has one of the bigger sales when it comes to Paper Mario games. I think Super Paper Mario is the top, and then I think Paper Mario: The Origami King is the next best selling in the franchise with over 3.4, 3.5 million, right around that area. Now, if you go back to Super Mario RPG, that game is at around 3.3 million overall because it had a big launch in Japan back last year. So if it's doing better than that, and if it's right on par with a brand new game in the series, that is absolutely good news. Remember, guys, remakes usually don't sell as well as new games. If Nintendo puts out a remake, that usually doesn't do as well as the brand new games in the series. So to see Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door actually match that, a brand new game, is good. And we know good and well that the digital ratio of Nintendo Switch is up from 2020 to 4 years later at this point. More people are buying games digital, and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is #1 on the eShop in so many regions. Here in my region, US, it's #1. So I'm guessing that the Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door sales digitally are better than Paper Mario: The Origami King because of the heightened install base and the more digital sales that Nintendo has been seeing, like they outlined in their investor report. So this is absolutely good. We want to see Paper Mario do really well sales-wise, because hopefully it convinces Nintendo that people want the RPG series. And once again, in the UK, which is not one of Nintendo's strongest markets, if it's matching a brand new game in the series with the remake that people can play in various different types of means on the GameCube and stuff, then that's good news, because the digital ratio is going to be higher, and it shows that people want this. People like this. It's a game that's old, 20 years old, and it's still rocking it overall with the sales like a new release in the series. So very good to see that. Now let's talk a little bit more about Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door and Nintendo listening to feedback, because there is a survey that Nintendo put out there, and they talked about considering returning to unique character designs for the Paper Mario series. So it looks like they're trying to get an idea. You got the sales kind of coming in here. Now you have this survey that's going out asking about this. So shout outs to GoNintendo for this one. And they stated this in the article. Somewhere along the line, Nintendo decided to make a shift in the Paper Mario series that some fans have been quite upset about. A new survey shows that at least in some regard, Nintendo is considering reversing course. Earlier Paper Mario games gave players unique takes on classic Mario characters and enemies. You can see that all throughout Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, with partner characters that offer interesting takes on Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Yoshi, and more. So for example, Goombella, and then obviously you have Koops, and then you have the Yoshi that's in there. Very different types. Whereas the newer games, not so much. They're kind of just the same characters that we've seen from the Mario series. Now, continuing on here, that element has been removed from subsequent Paper Mario games, which still feature cameo partners, but without any special design aspects or characteristics. In a new survey from Nintendo, it seems Nintendo is thinking about returning to the ways of old. This survey, centered on Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, asked players if they'd like to see future Paper Mario installments return to altered character designs for companions. They also asked which type of character you like the most, with one answer specifically saying, "I like characters that look like other familiar characters but have a unique appearance or personality." Now, this poll should be a glimmer of hope for franchise fans who want to return to partner characters with more personality. Let's hope Nintendo pays attention to respondents and returns to this old approach for whatever the next Paper Mario game ends up being. So Nintendo is really gauging this. They've seen everybody talk about this since Paper Mario the Origami King launched. People have been talking about this. This has been a thing, and Nintendo has responded a bit here. We got Paper Mario on the NSO. That's awesome. We got Super Mario RPG Remake. That is the start of the Paper Mario series, or the Mario RPG series is Super Mario RPG. Then they did Paper Mario on the N64. Then they did Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. So essentially this is Super Mario RPG 3 if you really want to look at it from the console perspective. So I think that if they see the sales that are going really good, which the sales are going good, if they see that people are really wanting them to return to this style, all they have to do is create a cool and different type of RPG battle system for the next Paper Mario game and add in these elements, and you've got yourself a massive hit. That will be a return to form, not only with the sales, but with the review scores, which do impact the sales. Paper Mario the Origami King, people talk about, oh, that battle system was so unique and different, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily super fun. And that game has so many great things about it. The graphics, the story, the characters are cool. Obviously, you lose that interesting element of different designs on the typical Mario characters, but it was still really good. Story, all that stuff is awesome. But the battle system is what drags, and that's the reason why the game has an 80 average, which is still really good. But Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door has an 88 average. It was actually above the original 87, 8 points plus better, and more than 10 points of some of the previous Paper Mario games out there. So to me, this is the guiding light. This is the reason. This is the game that you need to support if you truly want to see Paper Mario go back to how it was back in the day, because this game, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, is awesome. I've been playing it a ton, and I love it. I like it way more than any Paper Mario game that I've played since Paper Mario on the N64. It's the best one since then. I don't like the other ones, but this one is good. At least I like the other ones. I just don't like the combat systems in a lot of them. So this has the combat, this has the gameplay, this has the characters, this has everything with Thousand Year Doors. So go there and check out the survey if you can. But check out your email, see if you've got that survey and respond to it. What do you guys think about everything that we talked about here with Paper Mario and with Monolith Soft's next project? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.